I think pre-Quake, it would have been very difficult to produce a show like Rise. But you know, I think what happened with the Quake, not only with the buildings leveled, but I think to one degree or another, people's mentality was leveled as well. People realised that what they had to do was do it for themselves. You know, because there were overnight there were no bars, there were no cafes, there were no restaurants, there were no cinemas. Everything was gone. They literally cleared spaces, produced in those spaces entertainment for themselves. You know, the authorities were busy doing other stuff, so people had to make it happen for themselves. And I think with that mentality, people started to realise this is cool, it's good, it's not a bad thing. And I think that opened people's minds to huge murals to be put up across the city, and also the city, because of its broken state, makes an amazing backdrop for these kind of works. Also, I think it's very interesting from the artist's point of view, you know, to come to a city like this and to experience, you know, it does feel like a war zone in the CBD. Yeah, young people certainly are being listened to and heard. You know, they led the change en masse, went and cleared all of this debris left by the quake, all of the liquefaction that came up through the ground. And I think that was another, you know, telling factor in people's shift in mentality. And when you talk to the older people in the city who are in decision-making positions, time and time again you hear people say, look, we're rebuilding this city not for us, we're rebuilding it for the young people coming through. The way that we've been supported by the community here, the support that we've got has been right the way through society. It's been humbling, to be honest. I'm George Shaw, I'm the Festival Director for Rise, presented by OU here in the Canterbury Museum in Christchurch. Rise is a huge street art festival, basically. Within the museum, we've got the street scene that we're sitting in at the moment, put together by Tom Buchanan, who's an Adelaide artist. We wanted to present a number of different experiences in one space. We've got buildings on either side of the street that people can wander in and explore. There's a laneway that is a history of Christchurch graffiti, the Banksy collection, which is a part of the OU collection in the street as well, 22 works and a whole raft of memorabilia. We've got Milton Springsteen here, who's a Kiwi artist who basically takes famous paintings and reworks them with a twist. With Rise, what we wanted to do was to give representation to New Zealand artists from across the country. You've got BMD, who were from Taranaki, Wellington-based. You've got Ghosty, who is Wellington-based. We also got Eno in from Taranaki. Yikes, who's along with Icarus and Wongi, you know, one of the foremost artists from Christchurch. Askew, who's Auckland-based, who's probably the one street artist from New Zealand that has, you know, true international reputation. Paulie, who's a part of a TMD crew. The international artists, we looked at artists that maybe would represent various parts of Australia, the main urban centres. Ian Strange, who's you know, got his own element to the show, you know, is representing Perth, and then Adelaide, represented by Vans the Omega. Roan came in, who represents Melbourne. Sydney was represented by Beastman and Lister, and then Soffles came in to represent Brisbane and just painted every wall he could possibly get his hands on. All of these artists not only have produced the work internally, but they've also produced somewhere in the region of 15 huge walls across the city. Yeah, I think it's a feast really, for a visual feast for people. if someone puts a tag on a building, well, you know, the council or the anti-graffiti team go and paint it out grey, and then the tag goes over the top and they go and paint it out grey. Hang on a minute, don't they say that, you know, doing the same thing time and time again and expecting a different result is a sign of madness? We'd like to start removing some of the stigma that's associated with an aerosol can. And I think we've already started that process. People are seeing that these people are amazing artists, and that's despite the stigma that's associated with an aerosol can, despite the fact that they've had no formal training. This kind of stuff is produced against all that oppression. If we lifted that oppression, imagine the type of work that would be produced around the world. It's just mind-blowing.